Hello, and welcome to the Intel Brief. Today is Thursday, 7 August. I am your host, Daniel, and today we're going to talk about Moldova has sentenced a pro-Russian politician to jail. Trump has said he's going to meet with Putin as early as next week. And Italy has approved a controversial bridge tying Sicily to the mainland. So firstly, a court in Moldova has sentenced a politician known for her pro-Russian views to 7 years in jail on charges related to channeling money in order to finance a party authorities say is a facade for Russian election meddling. The governor of the autonomous region of I cannot say that was found guilty of illegally. So essentially, the governor of a breakaway autonomous region was found guilty of illegally financing her party. And was named after exiled pro-Russian oligarch Ilan Shor, who was previously found guilty of fraud in Moldova. So what? This is just unsurprising. For those of you who don't know, Moldova has a breakaway region known as Transnistria that has Russian troops stationed there since the fall of the Soviet Union and has kind of just fucked their entire country up ever since. So it's unsurprising that, Russia is trying to get their dirty little hands in there in a big way. Sentencing her to jail, pretty interesting. I haven't seen the court case and I don't know how much of the evidence was made public, but it is likely that there was some pretty interesting information used there to, secure her charge. But yeah, I don't know, makes sense. If you're caught fucking taking money from the Russians to fuck with your own country, then I think you should go to jail, you piece of shit. And next, Trump says there's a good chance that he'll meet Putin very soon. Trump described the talks between Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and the Russian leader, which he said were very good talks. The US president stressed that he had made a lot of progress with Russia. The US Secretary of State Marco Rubio also addressed the potential meeting between the two presidents, saying that considerable work lay ahead to overcome many impediments. Earlier on Wednesday, reports cited that the White House is saying Trump was open to meeting with Putin. So it looks like the kind of rough plan would be for Trump to go have a meeting with Putin and then go and have a meeting with Zelensky to discuss what they had talked about. But no dates or specific locations have been discussed as of yet. So what? This is a pretty interesting move and something that kind of goes back to the overarching point that everyone is kind of pointing at this point, that Putin is just trying to delay any kind of peace negotiations for as long as humanly possible without pushing Trump to that final level of sanctioning countries that are buying Russian oil. He has tariffed countries that are buying Russian oil, but that isn't the same. Sanctioning them would be absolutely dire and would likely push them away from purchasing Russian oil, as it would isolate them out of the international markets. But agreeing to meet Trump himself is a pretty smart move, as you know, it plays into Trump's personality of wanting to be the guy who fixes everything and be that big, strong man. But I don't think it'll achieve anything. Putin has shown over the years that he can play Trump like a fiddle when they meet personally. And it's quite possible that Trump will come out of that meeting thinking that Zelensky's the bad guy and that this is all Ukraine's fault again. And we'll be back to square one on this fucking game of round and round we go. But yeah, hopefully someone can speak some sense into him. Meeting Putin isn't the bad thing. It's how it kind of generally goes when he meets Putin. Putin pours honey into his ears and then he's away. Probably brings him some cute girls and, fucking you're done. And lastly, a committee of Italian ministers on Wednesday greenlit plans to build a 3.3 kilometre bridge connecting the island of Sicily to the Italian mainland. The controversial project has been discussed for decades, but latest plans call for the completion of the bridge before 2032. If completed, the strait would break Turkey's bridge record of the longest suspension bridge in the world, which is 2.02 kilometers at the moment. The Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, hailed the state-funded project as an economic boost for Italy's impoverished south. The transport minister told a news conference in Rome that the bridge will be the biggest infrastructure project in the West. So what? So this bridge is apparently quite controversial due to earthquakes in the region and people worrying that it'll just get ripped apart in the next large earthquake down in southern Italy, which is a fair point. But also with modern technology, I feel that bridges can be made to withstand even the largest of earthquakes. If you look at countries like Japan, they have huge bridges, maybe not suspension bridges, but maybe that plan could be modified to ensure its safety. Interestingly, the bridge is also being put through as defense financing because they're putting it under their NATO budget or their defense budget of up to 5%, which I think is a smart move, as you know, it's a way of getting an economic boost for the country while also spending large amounts of money within their defense cap, which I think was agreed on that 2% of it could be for other things outside of like direct defense financing. The way they do this is the bridge is to allow movement of NATO troops around Europe. Just a bit of a backstory on ideas like this. The German Autobahn was originally made by the Nazis to allow the German army to move quickly around Germany. So yeah, it's not the first time civilian infrastructure has been built in the name of the military. Yeah, I don't know, kind of cool. It would be awesome having travelled in the region. That 30-minute ferry is a bit of a pain in the ass, so it'd probably be very good for the people in the region and hopefully bring a bit more prosperity to the island of Sicily. That's been your Intel Brief. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you again tomorrow. See you!